Thank you for joining us. This is where you catch up on what's been trending this week. If only you've been too busy to follow the news yourself, we are there to help you. All right, just remember these trending words for this week. Russia, the Karnataka Hijab Controversy, state elections in India, Bappida, and HIV cured.
But right now, let's go a little bit international and figure out what is happening with Russia, NATO, and Ukraine. Now, This has been happening for some time. We've even discussed it on an earlier episode of So Far So Good. Russia has accumulated 130,000 troops on the Ukrainian border, threatening, looks like, to attack. The US has been saying their attack is almost imminent. There are issues in terms of what Putin wants NATO to do so that he can back off, which is make sure that Ukraine never becomes a part of NATO and to stop their eastern expansion towards the Russian borders of collecting more and more members and to get rid of troops in NATO member countries that have joined them after 1997, I believe. All of these are non-starters for NATO, so it's a little bit of a stalemate. However, diplomatic conversations are on. The Chancellor of Germany has been to Russia and spoken to Putin. Before that, Macron, the French president, had gone and spoken to Putin. So we're trying to see what happens. Russia has, last we heard, said that we're going to pull out troops. US and NATO are saying we are seeing no such thing. In the meantime, conversations are on and somehow one table has come into the picture.
I don't know. So basically, America last week started getting everybody panicked because they said all our American people in Ukraine, niklo, because Putin is going to, abhi, any minute he's going to attack. Then the president of Ukraine, he's the ex-comic, but anyway, Zelensky said, oh, it seems like 16th they're supposed to attack, because he was being ironic and he randomly said that word. So everybody panicked, 16th, there's going to be an attack. Then Russia started saying, but we are to withdrawing. See these photos, we are taking away our troops. And every other leader in that part of the world, in Europe, is saying, excuse me, don't show us random photos. We're seeing your troops get doubling in number. So right now, Russia is playing a game that nobody really seems to understand. Everybody is on edge. And in the middle of this, Putin's table. So he's got this really long oval table where he seems to sit on one end and invite other world leaders to have a conversation with him. At the other end, looks like one is sitting in Timbuktu and the other one is like Patani where in Jhumri Talaiya. Okay. So that table has gone viral.
Room with a really big table.
Yeah, but he's supposed to play these mind games, right? In the past, also remember the ex-German Chancellor Angela Merkel used to be scared of dogs, so he brought a dog into a meeting with her. So I don't know what
Labrador he brought in. Yeah, that was just wrong.
But I don't know what game he's playing by making like Macron and the German Chancellor Olaf sit like far away from him. So it's a really funny table, and yes, we've seen the funny memes of
distancing is happening.
Yeah, so that's why Putin, the table, and Russia has been trending. Now, moving on to India, state elections are on, as you know. So we've had Goa as well as Uttarakhand finish voting on Valentine's Day. I'm wondering why they chose Valentine's Day, but I guess they weren't thinking of it in terms of Valentine's Day. But anyway, Uttarakhand, Goa finished voting. Goa had a pretty high voter turnout, like almost 79% people came out to vote. Yeah. Then Uttarakhand had about 61% that came out to vote. UP is voting in phases because it's such a huge state. And some phases are over
7 phases.
Yeah, and some more are there. Manipur is going to vote on the 20th. And there is Punjab that is also going to vote, which is why state elections and speeches and this controversial videos are being leaked by opposition parties. Then clarifications are happening. Very dramatic statements are on. But I mean, if you live in India, you have to live under a rock if you don't know that state elections are happening. And these state elections are very important because they're supposed to be a sort of indication as to what is going to happen in the general elections in 2024.
So just to be clear, general elections are 2024, 5 state elections now. There's a couple more scheduled for the end of the year also, into 2023. But UP is the big one, right? And that is clearly going to be an indicator of the trend. Now, this is basically, these 5 states are BJP's elections to lose, because aside from Punjab, where the Congress is in power, the other 4 states have BJP governments in power. So it's literally, and these words keep coming up, right? Pro-incumbency and anti-incumbency, which way is it going to go? All will be revealed on March 10th, where it doesn't matter what the date of voting is. All results for all 5 states are going to be announced March 10th onward. So by end of that day, we will know exactly what the country is feeling. Mind you, they're going to be factoring in, aside from religious elements and politics and all of that, it's also going to be a vote on how the government has handled the whole pandemic.
Correct.
It's also going to be part of that, because this is the first elections that have come through. Well, one of the first elections that have come through, certainly of this size since then. So now we will wait and see how that works out.
Now, in India, the other big controversy happens to be the hijab controversy, which started in Karnataka. I can't believe such a non-issue has become an issue. Started in Jan when those 6 girls suddenly went viral, and we saw them arguing with their school principal and begging him to let them in because their exams were coming, and they were like, sir, why aren't you letting us in? And as it turned out, he was preventing them from coming in because of the fact that they were wearing a hijab. By the way, the hijab is just the headscarf. Okay? It is not the burqa, which is the whole thing. That has now escalated. The matter is in the Karnataka High Court. The Karnataka High Court has sort of given a controversial order where they said, while this matter is sub judice, in the interim, please, no religious clothing attire to be worn in colleges where there is a sort of uniform code. Okay, so they didn't mean uniform blanket. So, so it means no hijab, it means no like saffron shawls, it means no religious attire, but only in those colleges where there is a dress code. This has been sort of loosely interpreted by almost all colleges in Karnataka, because we've been seeing some disturbing videos of, girls wearing the hijab trying to enter college and then them being stopped and being made to remove the hijab at the entrance. The most disturbing have been where the teachers who are grown women, wearing the burqa and all, being made to take it all off and put in the, and it's just as a girl, as a woman, it is embarrassing. Even for you, Jaggu, as a man, you've been quite psyched by the lack of privacy and this whole under media glare, making a woman change in front of like people and all is just not cool.
Absolutely. You just don't do that. I mean, especially in a society such as India's, where modesty is crucial. Yeah. I mean, it's not a religious thing. We prefer to dress modestly. It's a matter of choice. And that's what it should be for a group of people in a public space to say, take that off. It's just, there's other ways to deal with this, many other ways to deal with this. And this is probably the most inappropriate. And that's the one they've chosen to pick, just because they're trying to make a very vocal and violent point. So that's just wrong. The case is currently being heard in the Karnataka High Court. We need to figure out what the court says before any further rules are broken. Let's not make this political. There isn't even an election coming in Karnataka. I mean, please calm down.
Yeah. It's just shocking that this has been happening, but it has been trending for the last few weeks. Bappi Lahiri, fantastic composer, the man who gave us so many amazing disco hits, changed a lot of wardrobes for a lot of our parents and older siblings.
I am a disco dancer.
Gave us so much joy. Was trending this week, obviously, because he passed away at the age of 69.
As a representative of my biradari, I want to say that Bapida is an honorary Sindhi. I just want to make that very clear. He is that to us.
So lots of fond memories have come out. Everyone's paid their last respects. We'll share one memory too. Jaggu, do you remember one Dhanteras when we were on radio in Bombay? We had called Bappida and as a joke told him that gold prices are rising and it's Dhanteras and people want to buy gold. You need to help everyone. You need to sell some gold. And he was like, no, my gold is my gold. I will not sell it. But he played along with us. We didn't even warn him that we were going to tease him. But he played along and he was just like super lovely, great music, great memories. And as someone said, Lata Didi and Bappida are going to now rock it up in heaven. So, that's what I'm hoping is going to happen.
Now in international medical news, happy news as it turns out, for the third time ever, a woman has been cured of HIV. They've actually used a new process. The first 2 times that it happened, they used bone marrow transplant to cure the first 2 people. In this case, they have used blood from the umbilical cord. This was considered a waste until they figured out, hey, we can mine this for stem cells. And that's what they've done. Now, mind you, this lady wasn't even being treated for HIV. She had leukemia. And so they were doing this whole stem cell transplant. As it turns out, not only is she in remission from leukemia, she also, for the last over a year, 14 months, has not had to be treated for HIV. She's been in remission with that too. So it's literally a happy coincidence and it's worked out. Everybody's happy. Well, most people are. Some people are saying that there is an ethics issue with this, that you can't do stem cell transplants unless it is life-threatening. In her case, it was life-threatening. They were dealing with leukemia. But that's an ethics issue that has to be addressed separately. Right now, we have a whole new form of treatment to cure HIV, and that's invariably a good thing.
No, and so remember at one point AIDS used to be very, very scary, and there was absolutely no way to treat it. And then people realized you can live with HIV because there are certain drugs that you're on for pretty much the rest of your life. But now, because of this, miraculous cure that she's had, she no longer needs those antiviral, anti-HIV drugs, and she's literally HIV free, which could change lives for a lot of people living with HIV. So that is good news. And we're going to leave you with a happy video of the spirit of cricket per se. Everybody must have come across this little video where basically Nepal versus Ireland, a T20I match was going on. We've got Ireland batting. The bowler has done his delivery. The batsman starts running off. Bowler bangs into him. Batsman falls. He manages to retrieve the ball, throws it at the wicketkeeper. Wicketkeeper can run out to the batsman, but he chooses not to and says, no, it would have not been the right thing to do. So everybody's like, wow, this is the spirit of cricket, because baad mein jaake Nepal lost and Ireland won. Yeah. And everyone's like, ooh, what if he had not, been so like Dayalu and let him complete his, not complete his run, and maybe, things would have been different. But even Ireland said, no, we are very impressed with them, and it was the right thing to do, and even we would have done the same thing. So now everybody is very happy with these lovely boys who basically demonstrated the best sportsmanship there could be.
Wicketkeeper's name is Asif Sheikh. Send him some love. He certainly deserves it.
Yes, he does. And while you're sending him love, send us some love too. Please like this video if you do. Talk to us in the comments. Did we enlighten you? Is there any news that we've missed that you feel you should be telling us about? Talk to us in the comments. Subscribe, turn that bell icon on, and most importantly, share with fellow Mad Hatters, fellow people who are interested in more than just like dog and cat videos and pranks, because we tend to do it differently on our channel. We're Jaggu and Tarana. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Okay, bye.
Bye, butterfly.